Welcome to the No Limits podcast with your host, Willy.
All right, take a little break, but we're back. No Limits, episode number 29, my lucky number, the day I was born on. I have an awesome guest today. It's David Nino Rodriguez. Welcome. How are you doing?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Man, I'm excited to have you. I've been Instagram stalking you for a while now. I'm not on Twitter, but when I pulled up some information about you, I saw your Twitter game is strong as hell, man. You've been tweeting some awesome shit.
Oh, I've been having like Tourette's on there, man.
I love it, man. The stuff you're saying, it like hits home. Like, damn, get him, Dave.
Yeah, I can't stop, bro. That's become my new favorite. I didn't used to like Twitter, but now it's my favorite. I think it's my favorite because you could just say whatever, man. Anything goes as long as they're not censoring.
Yeah, I think I have a Twitter account, but I don't even know how to get on it anymore. I never tried it out. I probably need to because it help our growth with our podcast. But man, the stuff I was reading that you were tweeting recently, I was like, damn, this guy knows, man. He's spitting the truth.
Oh yeah, I'm going to Olds Bar, bro. It's no time to pull back. Yeah. We're literally at war right now, and it's an information war. And too bad, honestly. I still can't believe a lot of people are still plugged into the mainstream media. That blows my mind.
I know. It makes my brain hurt, man.
Yeah. It's just like, man, it's like, I guess some people are not meant to wake up, honestly.
Yeah. I was talking to somebody about that recently. It feels like half the population is just not capable of waking up, but it's just they're going to be in this sleep forever, and they're in pure denial of the obvious shit that's going on.
The sad thing about it is they slow down the rest of humanity.
Yeah.
We're trying to, I like to say we're trying to shift into this fifth dimension to ascend. And it's literally like carrying barnacles with you or anchors. And it's like, man, like, let's get with the program. I mean, it's like, I'm starting to believe more and more. It's just best to cut off the fat and move on, because this is hindering everyone's spiritual evolution. Like this is just these constant fights and frustrating circumstances is holding everybody back from a much better world in life.
Yeah, I agree, man. We're going to dive into that more in a minute. We're going to jump into the 6 questions, and then we'll go into the deep end.
Let's roll.
Number 1, what movie can you watch over and over without ever getting tired of?
Oh, I think this is easy to guess for most people, but I love all the Rockies.
Which one's your favorite?
I can watch a Rocky marathon, dude, and just still feel like I'm a kid again watching that.
Yeah, dude, those movies pump
I don't get tired of those.
I don't either. Which one's your favorite?
Man, they're all good. I would have to say part 3.
Amen, I like brother. That's mine too.
Yeah. Really? Yeah. I like Clubber Lang. I like the whole
connection with him and Apollo Creed.
He lost.
Yeah.
He had to come back from defeat. So yeah, I've always liked all the Rocky movies. Maybe, I like Braveheart, Gladiator. I'm that kind of, I like those type of flicks. Scarface, real masculine type, high testosterone, adrenaline movies. But the ones I never get sick of is, man, Rocky marathons, man.
Even part 5, man. You watch that?
I like part 5. Tommy Morrison. I knew Tommy Morrison.
Oh no shit.
Yep, I knew him, and I'm friends with his wife still, Trisha. And his kids are fighting. I don't know how well they're doing now. I haven't looked into it, but yeah. I mean, I got to know Tommy for just a little bit. There's a huge conspiracy about him never even having HIV. His wife is trying to take it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of evidence there that shows that she could be right, but she'd be a good guest for your show, actually.
Yeah, that's cool, man. We'll talk about that offline. Yeah, the Rocky movies are incredible. Rocky 3 by far is my favorite, just because of Rocky having to change his style and pick up Apollo Creed's style and going train him in the rough terrain.
That's the best one. And then after that would be Rocky 4.
Yeah, same here.
And then
that was the first CD I ever owned, was Rocky 4 soundtrack.
Boxing to me, this is just off subject, but obviously MMA has taken over, but the way nothing can touch boxing the way it was in the 70s, 80s, and 90s with Holyfield, Lennox, Riddick Bowe, Trinidad, De La Hoya. I mean, we had those mega fights. It's just not like that anymore. I'm sorry, but I can't get behind Canelo cherry picking all his opponents, and it's frustrating what the sport's become. It's become a business. It's a joke. I can't get behind boxing anymore. I do some commentating here and there, but to be honest with you, the sport itself is just taking a giant shit, and it's just turned to crap.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I agree.
You know,
I still watch all the big fights, so I'm a sucker.
yeah, but the big fights are. I mean, they cherry pick these guys and they cripple them, they handicap them before fights to where, they suck them down and make them do 2 weigh-ins, and it's the A side and the B side. It never used to be like the A side and the B side. 2 fighters went in equivocally the same, and they fought it out, and there was no A side and B side. You went in the same, and you used to have points deducted if you didn't show championship heart, and now you could just skate through a fight like Mayweather and just pop every now and then and run. And back in the day, you get points taken away for that bullshit. So I'm still old school boxing all the way, man. I like the old Hagler, Thomas Hearns. That's the generation I grew up in. This Mayweather shit later. I don't care for it. Canelo or Mayweather later.
Yeah, see, I don't even know a lot of that. I mean, the average fan doesn't know that because your perspective from being a boxer is very interesting.
Yeah, it's there's so many advantages and disadvantages that fighters can pick and choose. Now when they hold the money like Mayweather or Canelo, that they can make it so unfair that people don't even know what they're watching. It's unbelievable.
Oh, that's interesting. We could do a whole episode just on that.
Oh yeah,
Number 2, what's the best practical joke that you've played on someone or that was played on you?
Oh, dude, my whole entire school life, I was playing jokes on teachers, dude. I used to this is not a joke. You can read it in the book. I put it in my book when the lights go out. I was that kid that the teachers would be like, oh shit, like we got him. You know what I mean? And I would put dog shit in their desk. I mean, I would light fucking boxes. I mean, dude, it was bad. It was bad. I mean, every day I was doing something to a teacher, man. I mean, I can't even say on your show how bad this really was. I mean,
there's no limits, bro. Say whatever you want.
Okay. You're going to see the worst practical joke I did?
Yeah, let's hear it.
All right. I was in 8th grade, and I don't know if you remember how all the monitors were connected together. Called Channel 1. It was called Channel 1. And everyone had the TVs connected into all the classrooms. Well, during history class, I remember her, Miss Galbraith. It was the VHS days. So she had the VHS, and she goes, tomorrow, class, we're going to be watching history on, I don't remember, it was London architecture, whatever. I don't remember. And I remember sitting there in class looking at my friends and go, I got an idea. So we go home that night, and we took out one of our worst, most vulgar pornos, and and we fast forwarded it to the money shot. You know what I mean? We got it right there on the money shot. Yes. So we show up the next day with this VHS tape, and we planned it all out. So she turns off the lights, and before she turns off the lights, she comes up to the class, and we're all sitting there, and I have the tape. Or no, my buddy John has the tape. I remember that now. My buddy John had the tape, and she walks up and puts her VHS tape into the machine, but doesn't push it all the way in yet. And she walks off to go turn off the lights, and as she's walking off to go turn off the light, my buddy John hands me the VHS tape, and I run up, switch the tapes out. Okay.
Damn, some Ocean's 11.
Yeah. And I take her tape, I go and I sit right back down, and the whole class is looking like, what the hell is he doing? And she walks up to the VHS player, and the lights are turned off. She goes, okay, class, I want you to pay close attention to detail here on this, that, whatever. And I'm just sitting there going, oh shit, it's about to be on. And she pushes in the VHS tape, presses play, and starts walking back to her desk. And literally, you can just hear the gasp and moans from everybody in the classroom, and I mean, I'm talking the money shot, bro, like right there on this chick's face. Wow. And then Miss Galbraith turns and goes, what is the class laughing at and gasping at? She looks, she sees it, she goes, oh my God! And she comes running up to the
It's like, how did my home video get put in there?
Yes. She goes running up to the TV and hits fast forward, hits rewind. She can't even hit eject, dude. She's hitting fast forward and rewind. Finally hits eject, pulls it out. The whole hallway, bro, for as long as you can hear, are laughing their asses off because they all saw the same thing because all the monitors were connected. Damn. They were all getting ready. We were like us in like 3 other classrooms. We're getting ready to watch this London architecture, I don't know, history tape, and all. They all got the money shot. So
damn, dude.
We were like some nerdy kid that I used to cheat off his papers all the time. Colin, that was his name. He so for about a week, it was a mystery, like who did this? You know, the whole school was talking about it. A lot of kids knew I did it, but they weren't going to tell me. Well, they started doing they started pulling each kid outside for every day after that, talking to the kids. Like, I know you got information. Who was it? Blah, blah, blah. And finally, obviously, somebody told on me, and I think it was, I'm pretty sure it was Colin. And
you rat bastard.
That son of a bitch. And yeah, so I spent the rest of the year in alternative. And yeah, that was a story of my life, dude. I was always doing pranks, bad ones. I mean, it was just a lack of stimulation, I guess. But yeah, that would have to be the number one. That was the big one in school. That's the one that got me thrown in alternative classes and detention, and then I just couldn't stop after that. But that was the big one, man.
Dude, that definitely takes the cake for the best prank I've heard on the show so far. You have the title. It's gonna be hard to beat that one.
More, believe me.
That is awesome. I was terrible in school too, man. I did a lot of bad shit. I got kicked out. My worst thing I probably did was convinced a buddy to jump out of the window during class.
Oh.
Yeah, I was terrible, man.
I love it, dude. Hey, I mean, and then the stuff we did. We could do a whole segment on this, bro. You know what, man? This is.
Yeah, we'll have to come back to it because this is a fun
we'll
topic.
Have to revisit this another time because, dude, I can write a book on this alone.
Yeah,
on this alone.
That's good shit, man.
Oh man.
Number 3. If you could time travel one time there and back, which time period would you choose?
How long do we get to stay?
It's a good question. Let's say we'll do 24 hours.
I would go to Atlantis.
Atlantis.
During that time. Yeah, and I would like to see how the technology from back then and what they were using, kind of get see our true history.
Yeah. So you're a believer in that stuff?
What's that?
You're a believer in the
Oh yeah. I mean, obviously it was there.
Yeah.
It would just have to be yeah, that's probably around the time I would go.
That'd be crazy.
Or the Sumerians. I would like to visit the Anunnaki, see exactly how all this went down, how human history started. You know, once you learn that, then you can see the rest. You can pretty much dictate everything else that's going to happen.
Yeah, that would be awesome, man. We have another big Anunnaki episode coming up this month on Truth or Theory with Matthew.
Oh, nice. Roy. Yeah, I mean, there's something there, and that's where I think it all started. So, you know, I would like to go and see that. You know, see that time frame. That would be the most interest to me. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, Jesus, this and that," but I think it starts back with Sumeria, and I think it starts back in Babylon, and that's where I would like to go. And I'm sure the Earth was completely different back then. I mean, I'm pretty sure those barren deserts were tropical. I'm convinced we lived hand in hand with, or hand and foot, whatever, with dinosaurs. I'm positive. You know, there's too many tracks that have been unveiled that or been found that giants roamed the Earth. Dinosaurs roamed the Earth at the same time as these giants did, as people. So I think that there's a hidden history from us that I would like to go back and explore for sure.
Yeah, hidden history is one of the most fascinating things out there.
Absolutely.
A lot of people don't even believe that dinosaurs were real, which is another crazy rabbit hole.
I mean, there's also people that think the Earth is flat. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. I had and they're convincing. That's the scary thing about it is they can debunk you on everything, but it's I'm not saying the Earth is perfectly sphere, but I know we're not living on a sheet of paper. It's not two-dimensional existence.
Yeah.
There's I've never been to space, so I can't say anything, but I will say that, there's people with all kinds of different conspiracies, and they all hold water to a degree.
Yeah, for sure. We have a couple of guys that are friends of our other podcasts that are heavily invested in the flat Earth theory, and
Anybody who's invested
not,
too much in anything scare me.
Yeah, same here.
If you're too invested in the flat Earth, and you're extreme on that end, or you're an extreme sphere, globe, whatever, why can't you just be in the middle and say you don't know?
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Why do you have to know?
Yeah,
you have to know everything. Everyone knows everything. It's like, dude, some things we don't know.
Yeah.
End of the story.
MMA legend Pat Miletich was on our podcast, and he said that he thinks it's basically just a big distraction, that whole theory. And I'm on board for that. I think it is a distraction.
That's still his theory.
It's not as important as everything else.
Right. It could be. I mean, but I haven't been there. I haven't been in space, dude, and looked down. So, and I do know that a lot of NASA photos are CGI.
Yeah.
Maybe all of them. I don't know. And they're completely different every time they take a picture of it. So it is the unknown. And I'm not scared to say that, because I don't know.
What's freakier, space or the deep sea, the unknown ocean that we have?
The ocean, bro.
Me too, man. I'm scared of the ocean.
Dude, there's something down there. That's, space at least. I feel like, I don't know. The deep sea scares me. The deep sea. I don't like sharks, man. And I don't like, and I know space can be just as dangerous, obviously, but something about
space
the water,
sharks
man.
coming to sci-fi.
Yeah, whatever.
All right. Number 4, what is something that really irritates you? What's David's weird pet peeve?
Ignorance. People that don't stop to listen. They talk over you. They know it all. Ignorance, man, for sure. Ignorance. Narcissism. Those two. Some people have both those qualities nicely wrapped together.
Yeah, it's a bad combo.
Yeah, but it would have to be that. And when I was boxing, and I've been around a lot of people with narcissism or egos, my ego had to die because I was almost killed twice, and killed once, and then on my own accord, I almost overdosed on drugs and died. So I lost my ego because I lost my career to my own faults. But people that live in this pompous reality, narcissists, they make me sick, man. Narcissism and ignorance, for sure. And that's all of Instagram.
Yeah, no shit. Huh? That is very true. Can't argue those, man. Number 5, what is an item in your home that is special to you for sentimental reasons? This is my favorite question.
Probably my trophy case. My trophy case has all my belts.
You have a lot of belts, man.
Yeah,
can I borrow one?
Sure. I wear them to the rodeo. You'll have the biggest belt there. No, I collect antiques, but.
Oh, do you? That's cool.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know how that happened, but.
Yeah,
I find them fascinating. I find, they're treasures. Honestly, they have a history behind them all.
What kind of antiques do you have? What are some of your favorite?
I have an old 1940s record player.
Wow.
I have a Michael Jackson 1983 record player. I collect a lot of vinyl. I have Star Wars. I have a lot of Star Wars relics. I have,
every guest I've had so far is a Star Wars fan. It's weird.
Really? Yeah.
Dude, I love Star Wars too.
I have their posters. I have the Terminator poster. I have movie posters. Star Wars, Creep Show.
Oh, that's really cool.
Terminator. I like to collect cinema, old cinema.
Do you have an 80s VHS porno tape still?
With a bush?
The one that was played for everybody at school?
My gosh, bro. I might have one around here, actually.
I want to know how you got it. Your hands on that back in those days, man. That shit's hard to find.
Dude, I think it was my friend's parents. My friend's parents. That's where John's parents. That's where he got it.
Yeah, VHS porn back in the day.
Or it could have been
gold.
my stash. I don't remember shit. That's so long ago.
We had to hide porn magazines in the woods in our little hiding places.
I remember the first time I saw Playboy, man. I was like, wow, man, it was the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah,
pages ended up being all stuck together, but whatever.
Weird circumstances. Number 6, last question. What accomplishment are you most proud of?
Ooh, oh man, maybe writing my book. I mean, you would think that I would say my championship, my fights, but um, I kind of look back on boxing. My whole career is probably a very big accomplishment, but probably writing the book because that's something people didn't expect out of me because you don't expect a boxer or a fighter to write their own book, and I did it on my phone and I wrote the
Oh,
whole
wow.
book. So that to me was a huge accomplishment because I tapped into something that I didn't know I was capable of doing, and it's getting 5-star reviews all the way down. So I'm
Yeah, I was
happy
looking
about
at the
that.
review on it. You have great reviews for your book. I'm gonna
Yeah, I
order
can't
it
believe it.
today.
Thank
I'm
you.
looking forward to reading it, and I keep a little guest book collection up there on our
Nice. Yeah,
library up there.
that's probably like my most. For me, that's my biggest accomplishment.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm writing books right now too, but I'm not writing any biographies. It's all fiction.
Yeah, no, that's good. Hey,
So
man, if you can write a book and finish it, see, a lot of people start but they don't finish.
yeah, 100%.
I knew what I had to do. I had to be obsessed with it. So I became obsessed and I locked myself away. Literally, I took a month and I wrote it all on my phone.
Were you
And
using notes or like Evernote or were
Evernote,
you Evernote? That's
yeah,
what I
I
used to
used
for.
Evernote.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
that's what I did. And just got a little hacienda down in Mexico for a couple weeks. Stayed there, pounded out about 15 chapters, 16 chapters, and then finished the rest in New Mexico. And I knew that'd be something I'd look back on. I had no idea that I would really monetize off it or put it out for public. I was really doing it for myself as a therapeutic type of cathartic therapy. Really, it was therapy because I wanted to release everything that happened in my boxing career and the frustration and the good times, the bad times, and just put it all on there. And I had to really explore myself and ask myself, why did I box in the first place? What possessed me to do this? Like, it's such an odd. I didn't have to. I grew up middle class. I had a good upbringing. I wasn't poor. I wasn't struggling. So why did I choose to fight? So that was probably myself, like doing an inner self exploration, really, on who I am, like why. And it took me back to being bullied. And
Really?
that's what I found out. Yeah, I found out like as I went back in my mind, I realized, man, I was bullied a lot as a kid, and that's how it started. That's exactly how it started. So
Seems like some of the best fighters were bullied as kids. It's crazy how that works.
yeah, because then you carry around a complex and you have to prove something to people, and you live in
Chip on your
insecurity.
shoulder. Yeah. Were you a big kid? I know you're a big ass dude.
No, it didn't hit. I didn't really. Well, I was always tall and lanky, but it didn't hit till I was in high school that I started filling out. Until
Oh, really?
after high school, really, yeah. So, it was. I guess you could always say I was a late bloomer. Even in my 20s, I grew another inch in my 20s, and that's unheard of. My dad did too, though.
Wow.
So yeah, late bloomer, dude. Just the things that come with it.
Yeah. So where does the Nino nickname come from?
That was given to me. That was given to me when I was a kid, obviously. But I was making. They were doing write-ups of me in the papers, and they just Spanish writers, and they just called me El Nino, and boom, it just took off, and then it never left. So here I am, a heavyweight. Not the most intimidating name, but
Yeah. Does your wife call you that too?
I don't have a wife.
Oh, you don't? I thought you were married.
No. Single and I mean,
Single and looking. You heard him,
happy,
ladies.
happy.
It's really only my mom that watches this podcast.
This is all by design, by the way. I chose not to ever. I'm not saying I wouldn't, but I enjoy my single life. I enjoy doing what I want when I want and freedom. I'm a big lover of freedom. That's my wife. For a long time, my wife was boxing, so I was, it was like the most abusive relationship you could have.
Yeah, no kidding.
So it was
Your
like a
wife
bad
used to
divorce.
beat you.
What's that?
I said your wife used to beat you.
Oh yeah, like, beat the shit out of me. And now I'm just living a life of sobriety for the first time and forever. I mean, I started drinking when I was 13, so I'm a year sober, a year and a week sober, and I'm just trying to navigate to this new life that I have and figure it out. To be honest.
Yeah. That's encouraging for the ladies watching. So you're not looking. Stay out of your DMs.
Oh no, I'm looking. I mean, I guess
You're open to
I don't
DMs.
know. No, I mean, I'm just coasting through life, man. I'm just
What if you found an awesome chick and you got along great with her? Everything was good. You were attracted to her, but she was
yeah.
hardcore left, man. She just didn't see
No,
the.
no. That's a deal breaker.
Yeah,
No, because
I
it
feel
also
you,
has to. It also has to go with enlightenment. There's a spiritual sense to it. There's an intuitive sense to it. I mean, everything. There's just no way, dude. I just I hate to say it, man, but I look at what the left has turned into, this radical ideology, as very low vibrational, fear mongering, negative. I couldn't just be around I could not be around a person like that. I just couldn't. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, they're just
I'm right there with you,
an
man.
alternate universe, man. I just rather not even tap into that. You know.
Yeah,
So,
I feel you, man.
oh.
Thankfully, I'm married. My wife wasn't really into any of that kind of stuff. We kind of grew together with knowledge. So
That's
she's
good.
just on team, whatever the hell I tell her, basically.
That's good. That's where you want it, man.
Yeah, hopefully my kids will stay the same way too. My oldest daughter, man, she's 8 years old and she challenges me on everything, man. I'm like, you're just gonna be a little activist, aren't you?
Oh, wait till she becomes a teenager, right?
I know. It's like she already has the teenager attitude. I'm like, Jesus Christ, don't turn 13 on me.
Damn.
But she's funny though. I think she'll come around. My little,
oh, hopefully. I'm sure she will.
Vegan.
Oh, she's vegan at 8?
No.
Oh gosh.
Me and my wife joke about her. She's gonna turn into everything that is against what my beliefs are and fight me on everything.
I'm a big meat eater, man. I
am too.
I believe in protein from animals. I just do.
Yeah.
But
it's a food chain.
I've never really gotten along with vegans, especially when I've dated vegans. It's just go to a restaurant and you're just like, go ahead, take your time, order lettuce and whatever the hell you're gonna have with it.
Just the way they order irritates me.
It's just dude, it drives me insane. And it's all about, well, you gotta understand the animal's feelings, and it's you're taking in their energy, and it's something. No, dude, don't give me that shit. I'm not. No, I'm meat through and through, bro. I like burgers. I like it, and that's the way it is. I don't want to be there at the slaughterhouse. I don't want to see it, but I know for damn well how I feel when I have a good steak dinner. I can sleep at night. I feel better. I feel strong. I feel good. I've tried the vegan thing for a couple of weeks and it gave me headaches. It felt terrible. They're like, oh, well, you're cleansing, and I'm like, no. This is not normal. This is not the way I want to. I don't want to feel weak and tired, and I'm sure if I go about a year long in this, I'll adapt to it. But I don't want to. I don't enjoy this.
You might grow a vagina on your back too.
Yeah, it's like yeah, exactly. And I don't enjoy it. Well, life is short, man. Enjoy your life. I don't, So
I have no shame, man. I bite a cow on the back of the neck.
I don't care either.
But the thing that aggravates
me, you're on an island and you're starving. Are you going to be craving meat or potato or tomatoes?
Catching fish and asking them to bring the seaweed.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, fuck that.
It's ridiculous.
I lost my thought.
Sorry.
Damn, it just completely gone. I didn't have my alpha brain today. Not a sponsor, but if you want to sponsor me, shout out to you, boy. Come on it. But the whole vegan that's what I was gonna say. The plants, people are so against like eating living creatures, but plants are very much alive organisms.
Yes, they are.
And they're eating animals. It's a different type of animal, but it's a fucking animal. It's alive.
Everything's consciousness when you look at it at the end of the day. Everything's consciousness. And they've done tests. I read a book in the Source Field Investigations and David Wilcock, where he talks about they've actually connected a polygraph to plants or in the rainforest somewhere or something. You could read it in his book that they actually scream when they're being cut down.
Yeah, think about that, vegans. Think about it.
Yeah, think about that for a second. Like, so it's just, there's so many different ways you could look at everything. And I just try to keep it simple. And no, you're not going to stop me from eating meat. I should probably eat less red meat. And I'm open to that 100%. But I love fish. I love salmon. I love sushi. And yeah, I think it's almost a sin not to enjoy these foods.
Yeah. My dad has a good message about all this kind of stuff. Everything in moderation. Everything in life has to have a balance. And
100%.
You got to have that balance. I try to remember that for everything. how's your relationship with your parents? I know they're older now, but you grew up solid with them, good connection.
They're the best, man. They were born in the 30s, so my mom and dad, they're part of that greatest generation, and it's hard sometimes. I got to keep everything kind of simple with them now because they're older. They're in their 80s, 86 and 81, but listening to their stories and just the way the world used to be, consciousness used to be back then, it's just fascinating to me. And it's funny, I call them on FaceTime and they still look at the phone like this. they don't know to look from here. They still look at it like this. I'm
That's
looking
awesome.
up their nose. But it's so there's some things, but I try to take the best care I can of them, so it's been a privilege to me to take care of them in their older age.
Yeah, for sure.
Sure.
Do you have any siblings around?
I have 3. So I had 3 sisters. My oldest sister passed away 11 years ago from alcoholism, which is another reason why I chose to stop drinking, because I didn't think I knew my parents would not be able to handle another kid dying. And I can't believe since I've stopped drinking how my depression cleared up, my anxiety cleared up. I sleep better. I look healthier. I get more gains in the gym. My life, I had no idea that my life was a wreck. And it took me stopping alcohol for everything to become clear and see that. So witnessing my sister die from that was rough. It was really rough. And I have a friend dying of the same thing right now. So
Damn.
yeah, there's so many different ways to die from alcohol too. It's not just car accidents. It's cancer. Your body's constantly acidic. So I feel like, because of her, I really did straighten up my life.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. My parents lost their oldest too, my oldest brother. And when your parents losing their kids, man, I can't imagine how hard that is, man. And I think about that often too. You said you didn't want your parents to lose another kid. I battled suicide problems and depression big time when I was a teenager, and and I'll never go back to that mentality. I've told myself many times that if I ever get to the point again where I want to kill myself, I'm going to just give my life to something better. I'm going to become like a monk, and go train tigers or some shit, or
anything's. But dude, do you hear that story about that guy? And this is no joke. I can't remember this where it was in, but some guy was contemplating suicide, or he was going to kill himself. So he took the last money he had and went to Mexico and got a bunch of hookers and cocaine. And he was just snorting cocaine and screwing hookers. And he decided, he looked around. He's like, you know what? This ain't so bad. And he decided to live. But that's what it took for him. Yeah. Whatever works, man. And you can't tell me oh, that's a life of sin, this and that. But what was the latter? He was going to kill himself.
Yeah.
The other, he was going to kill himself. And he went out to just blow it all and just go out with a bang. And then he decided to live. So even if he chooses to live that kind of life, it's still better than killing himself. So have at it, dude. You know what I mean? I don't judge. I don't judge anybody, dude. I don't judge anybody for what they do in life. Life's tough.
Life's is, man. And everybody's got their own obstacles too.
Absolutely. So whatever you have to do to get through, as long as you're not hurting other people, you're good in my book, man. If you're not hurting, if you're enjoying your life and you're not hurting other people, you're good, man.
That's an interesting spin that he took, man. The depression side of it, usually you don't have any self-worth to want to be in those kind of situations. Maybe the drug side, but but the hookers, that's hey, man, more power to you.
Whenever I feel bad, man, but dude, like I said, it was alcohol intensified everything. I cannot believe how much my life has turned around not drinking.
How long of your life was alcohol a burden?
Oh, well, I didn't know it was a burden because I was young. My 20s and 30s, so I was a professional boxer, and then when I'd be done with a fight, I'd go drink and do drugs and have a good time. And so I didn't think it was a problem. I thought it was just a way for me to manage my stress, and I was living really hardcore, really extreme. But now I look back on it and I'm like, oh God, that's disgusting. I look back on that life, dude, and I want no part of it anymore. I'm over it.
Yeah.
So I just want to have a happy, peaceful life.
the whole majority of your boxing career, you were abusing yourself
Oh
basically.
yeah,
Wow.
burning the candle on both ends.
Imagine how
dude.
good, much better you would have been even if you were
Oh,
healthy. You
oh
were
my God.
incredible that way. That's
Yeah,
awesome, man.
I can't believe I was able to do what I did with what I was doing.
Yeah,
It's
that says a
unbelievable.
lot about your abilities. That's
Yeah,
incredible.
I mean, but but it is what it is, and I'm doing different stuff now, and um, I grew out of it. I can honestly say it's like I look at boxing now for me, like when you're a kid and you go, when you're an adult and you go back and revisit the sandbox you used to play in. You're not that. You remember the what a great time you had when you're playing in the sandbox, making mud castles and shit. But you won't do it when you're an adult because you're like, you're an adult. Other things stimulate you. I look at boxing the same way now. Like boxing is like something I look at and go, okay, that was nice back then. Now I don't even look at it the same. I look at my belts even and I'm like, just pieces of leather and metal. I mean, what does it really say? So yeah, it's just I have a whole different perspective now.
Yeah, well, that's still an incredible accomplishments that you did. I know your mindset's changed on it, but the average person can't do that kind of stuff, and you pulled it off. It's incredible.
Thank you.
So let's get into the dark side of your past, man. You were basically murdered at one point, right?
Oh yeah, I had my neck slit open from my ear. You can see it, right?
Yeah, damn, man, that's
That whole
crazy.
thing right there, man. I got my whole face, and yeah, I was gone. I was dead, and that happened twice in a year. I overdosed on drugs in February. Was in ICU. They had to bring me back with a defibrillator, and I was in ICU for like 8 days. That was in February, and you would think I would have learned my lesson there and not drink. And the common denominator in all this was alcohol.
Yeah, it was trying to end your life in so many different ways. Huh?
Yeah, and I was probably also looking for an out somehow because the pressure of boxing, and I wasn't happy in life, and I was just probably looking for escapisms. And I was an extreme personality, an extreme individual, so the drugs and all that, and then one night I'm leaving a bar, and I'm walking down this street, and these thugs came behind me and slit my throat, and I don't know what the altercation was or what it was because I was so drunk that I'm not saying that I'm a saint, but I know that they tried to kill me, and from there I didn't lose my life. I almost did, but I lost my career. I was never the same after that mentally for years. And then I hit a real black time, the dark night of the soul or whatever you want to call it, of pitch black depression. That it's like, I feel like I tell people all the time, it's equivalent of me being out in the ocean on a canoe in the middle of the night with no compass, naked, freezing. Like that's what I felt like. And that's really how I felt in my life. And I was suicidal, obviously, but I had to come to terms with it and think to myself, okay, I know I'm a champion. I know I was able to win 36 and I was able to be 36-0. How did I do that? Well, I did things that other people didn't want to do. So I was like, what do I need to do? How do I need to change my life? I go, well, okay, now I literally sat down with a piece of paper and I wrote this. I was like, okay, pros and cons. And I go, okay, how am I going to improve my life? Well, I'm not making money anymore because I'm not fighting. So that was like a huge question mark. I was broke. I was drinking. I started giving back to the community. I started holding anti-bullying seminars, and I just started going to schools and talking to kids. And I thought, well, if I do that and start giving back a little bit, maybe I'll start helping myself as well. So I started doing that, and that was the first step. But I was still drinking heavily, showing up to these kids reeking like alcohol and hungover. I mean, dude, man, it was bad. But I was just trying to get by in life. I was just barely trying to get by the skin of my teeth. And it wasn't until I quit drinking that my life completely turned around. And for about 5 years, I was in a black depression, dude, where like every day I thought about putting a gun to my head. Every day. I mean, I slept with it on my dresser, man, just fucking thinking like I couldn't do it because I didn't want my parents to go through that again, losing another kid.
Yeah. Damn, that's rough.
But bro, I got through it. And my life is so much better now. And I'm so much more at peace. I cannot believe it. And I owe it all to God. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I put my faith in God and I just said, hey, man, you steer the ship. I'll just do your work. And that's where I'm at.
And Joe Rogan has said it many times too, that some of his favorite people have had terrible past. Like they've gone through crazy shit. It almost seems like the best people have had terrible past and gone through so much shit because it gives you that flavor and experiences, and you're so much more valuable.
Yeah.
To
Builds
educate
character.
others. Yeah.
Yeah. It builds character. It gives you humility. You're humbled.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing worse. Like you know, there's a lot of fighters I know that are just coming up and they're 5-0, 10-0. They're cocky. There's nothing worse than that kind of person.
Right.
And it's not till they lose a couple times and they face humility and they get humbled and they become a complete fighter.
Yeah, it's crazy though, man. Like it feels like you have to go through shit to be worth anything. Like, and it's unfortunate,
100%.
and it's not advice for anybody out there to go become an alcoholic or anything drug addict. But it really feels like people that have gone through this shit are the best quality people.
100%, dude. I mean, I wish during the time you're going through it, it's the worst. It's like you don't see any end in sight. You're in a black hole. It's like a vacuum of hell. But when you do come out of it, at some point, as long as you don't develop more bad habits and just some people give up, dude. Some people give up in the middle of that blackness and they fall further and they get sucked into this void and they can never come out of it. But if you just, like they say, when you're going through hell, keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep pushing, man. Just keep going. So you rest all you need, but keep going. And the sun does come up, man. It's always darkest before dawn. You know, that old saying, and that's the truth. Yeah. And am I saying that I'm completely out of the darkness? No, there's going to be times in my life where it's going to hit me again.
Oh, yeah. As long as you're alive, you're going to be battling.
Yeah, but I'm better equipped now than I was then with alcohol. Yeah. And, you know, so I'm just happy that I got my life back, man, and that I have the tools necessary to navigate through this mystery of whatever this is.
Yeah, definitely. It makes me like I can picture everything like what you're saying. You've fallen down this endless darkness. If you don't make it out of that, you become ashes. If you do, you are a phoenix, basically. You are a phoenix now. You're still in battle, but you are more equipped than you ever were, and you have the opportunity and the chance to help other people out of that dark hole too.
Absolutely. I mean, however I can be at service for others, man, it's cool. It's fine on me because those days of self-gratification and glory and ego, they're dead. They're dead. I don't want any part of that anymore. That's a road to nowhere. You know, service to self is a road to nowhere, man. It's just,
absolutely.
You don't come out the winner, believe me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're gonna get a good woman in your path eventually, relatively soon. I have a feeling about it. We'll talk about it on the next episode.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I enjoy right now my sobriety, and I'm just right. I look at life like surfing. I don't even relate. Like back in the day, I used to relate it to boxing. You know, that was a big analogy. I would always have life analogies with boxing analogies, but now I look at it as surfing in the sense that you paddle your ass out to get out there. And sometimes you don't catch a wave. And sometimes you catch a wave. And sometimes you catch a really awesome wave and you ride it in. And sometimes you catch crappy waves and you wipe out. But you got to just keep getting back out there. And 100%. That's I'm just riding this wave right now, man. Like wherever it takes me. And then when it ends, I'll go paddle back out there and see what else I catch.
That's awesome. I tell my wife that kind of stuff all the time too. I'm like, you're just a wave. I'm gonna get on another wave soon. You're gonna have to deal with it. It's part of life. I'm an asshole to my wife. Oh my God. Used to it now though.
That's awesome, man.
I'm a roast comedian to my wife, and she's my only subject every day. So, shout out to her for taking all my shit.
Yeah, right. Dang, dude, you're gonna get a divorce right now when you leave the set.
Oh, dude, I've done worse, man. She puts up with a lot of bullshit with me. one of my first guests, Morgan Mitchell, who's a fitness trainer in LA. She's a really cool chick. She's a vegan. I apologize for my vegan jokes, Morgan. It wasn't aimed at you, but she was single when she came on, and then now she's got a great guy. Then she's all happy. It's like, man, I'm gonna bring you back on. We can talk about that now.
Yeah.
It's crazy how shit works out, man.
It is. Life is strange, man.
The waves, bro. It is definitely waves. Our wife's got to just deal with it. It's very choppy out there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm kidding. I wanted to ask you too about CT. Do you feel like you have any brain issues from boxing? Because man,
Sure.
Boxing is brutal for the brain. Like,
yeah, I'm sure I do. I have a friend that played for the Cardinals too, and he suffers from it, and we talk about it all the time. I don't know what the extent is. I'm sure it's bad. I mean, I still feel like I have a fairly high IQ. I don't know, and I'm quick. The funny thing is this: I took a Texas Tech medical division contacted me about 7-8 years ago. Was it maybe a little longer? And they did a test, and they did an MRI, and I was one of the subjects. They're doing contact sports on the brain, hockey players, football players, boxers, and so I was the boxer, and they did a test on me, and I passed everything with flying colors. So they said I had the brain of a subject that never got hit in a contact sport.
Wow, that's
which
awesome.
blew my mind because they could have fooled me. So I think certain individuals suffer greatly from it, and some people don't. I don't know what contributes to that, but I know I've taken some hellacious shots.
I can only imagine being a heavyweight, man. Jesus.
Hellacious shots. And I'm talking multitudes and around even. I mean, it's just, but I think it also comes with age. I think like as I get older, I'm probably going to notice this or that. I try to stay positive, and as of right now, I say sure. I'm sure if you compare my brain to the way it should be, I'm sure there's, I'm going to see all kinds of problems, but I don't notice them. I don't notice any difficulties. Maybe my memory is not as my memory, but is that ADD? I don't know, because I don't pay attention. You know what I mean? So maybe that's what contributes to a faulty memory. So that'd be the only thing that I've noticed is my memory, but it's not that bad.
Yeah, I don't pick up on anything with you. I watch a lot of your Instagram live videos and videos you post, and you articulate things very well. You keep your thoughts like I don't see anything with you having any issues.
It throws people off. Throws me off.
Yeah, you're impressive, man. I'm a big fan of yours.
Thank you.
Did you watch the Tyson Roy Jones fight? And what's your take on that?
What a joke. Dude, that was a disaster, bro. Man, some things are just better put to bed.
Yeah.
Like that was, first of all, let me tell you what they're doing. They were body sparring. They weren't hitting to the head. So there was a con job on everybody. They also looked old as shit doing it. I don't know. I mean, I just, I respect Mike Tyson and Roy Jones. They were amazing fighters, no doubt about it. But hey, man, if they needed the money and it was a spectacle, that's cool. But the ring entrances sucked. There was no people. I mean, it just took away the whole. It did a huge disservice, in my opinion. And then I don't even know what the hell I was watching. Was it a fucking rap concert? What was it? Like Snoop Dogg?
I forgot about that.
It was like they're shooting rap videos, dude. It was like it was horrendous to watch. It was like, God, it was agonizing.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I was like, man, what the hell am I watching?
And I'm like, dude, I don't want to see this horse shit.
Yeah.
Like, ugh, disgusting, bro. So no, I mean that right there, I was like, whatever. And then they had that YouTube kid who's a joke.
Oh yeah.
I mean, dude, it's just like, yeah, I mean, whatever. You knocked out a guy that's never fought before. So dude, it was underwhelming is the word I would use, underwhelming, and to me it was a disgrace. Whatever.
Yeah, speaking of disgrace, that I can't remember their names. Are those two brothers, the YouTubers, Paul brothers? Man, this era that we're in,
I don't know what that is, what entity that is, and
it's only getting worse, man.
How that exists, but I just don't. It's just huge disservice to boxing,
Circus show. Yeah, I can't stand the power that influencers and YouTubers have that are that appeal more like to
It is what it
teenagers.
is, though.
There's
I
so
mean,
much of that shit out there.
I know.
I won't let my kids watch that crap because I don't want them getting glued into all this dumb
yeah,
shit.
it's like I don't care for it. I don't watch it. I don't, I don't even. What a disgrace that whole thing was, man. Jeez.
Yeah.
And then that reminds me why I don't watch boxing anymore.
Yeah, it's all connected.
Yeah. It's all the same.
I want to get you on
It's a
a
circus.
Truth or Theory podcast sometime, so we can go deeper into conspiracies. But I'm curious, like, when did you start waking up, and what triggered that?
9/11.
Really?
9/11, because I remember when those towers were coming down, I was like, wait a minute, I've seen Vegas buildings get knocked down before, and that's how that went down.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so that was always like a splinter in my mind. I'm like, dude, that didn't look right, And everyone's like, oh, going crazy, like that was this, it was terrorists. And I'm like, that looked like a controlled demolition, man, And then I started watching documentaries that came out afterwards and listening to people, whistleblowers, and I was like, boom, what's really the problem here? And then I started diving into esoteric stuff and the Mason stuff, and I'm talking DMT, the whole thing. And probably by the time I was like 21, I was like fully awake, and it was very frustrating because you're looked at like the crazy guy. But everything that's happening now is jolting humanity into this awakening process. And I've been there for a long time. So however I can assist other people to come get through this is kind of frustrating to me, but I welcome the challenge. But for about 15 years, I've been dealing this just by myself, just a few people here and there that were on the same wavelength, but it wasn't common.
Were you keeping it to yourself because you?
No, I would try to tell people, I would test the water with them, and it would just blow my mind. It would blow me out of the water when people didn't know what I was talking about. They're just, huh? I'm like, how can you be alive on this planet and not know your surroundings or question them?
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand it.
Definitely.
Some people are just happy in this little matrix of existence. It's no different than your dog in the backyard. That's the only environment he knows. That's all he knows. That he's a sum total of what your dog knows in the backyard. Comes through the doggy door, comes in my house, walks around, lays on the couch, goes back in the back, goes back outside. That's the same thing on a little larger scale for people. They go to their job, they go in their car, they drive to work, they sit in their cubicle, they do their work, whatever. Then they come home, they turn on Fox or CNN, they get downloaded with a bunch of horse shit, and then they go to bed at night, and then they do it again. They do it again, and then they do it again, and they do it again, and they become that. Yeah. That's how they control you. So
it's almost like they're not real people, man. Let's be honest. No. They're background characters.
Just, you're extras. Just, yeah, exactly.
It feels like they're extras in our movie.
That's why I have no problem ever believing, when I first started understanding all this, that we are commodities. We're expendables. We're harvested for other intelligent beings or entities. We are food source in so many different ways. So it's like we're farmed. And like when people, that's the hard thing that people need to grip with. That right there, that's a whole nother segment in itself. But
yeah, we talked about that recently. That's a very twisted reality.
When people find out that we're not the top of the food chain, that's when religion blows up in front of your face, your science, everything, boom, like an atomic bomb. That's a whole different thing.
It's really inspiring to think about how many people have woken up just this year, though, from the
thank God
COVID and
look what it took.
Yeah,
and there's still people asleep.
I know.
That's what blows my mind. I'm like, wow, you're still wearing a mask,
shit.
6 feet, but to social distancing, you just live in fear. You get Biden getting up there with his mask on, talking about like dark winter. It's like, dude, get the fuck out of here, man. Like, the only reason this dude exists is because people need this man in our. He only exists in our reality because we let him.
Mm-hmm.
We can completely shave this scumbag in the whole Democratic Party and the people that are asleep out of existence if we just move forward into this new consciousness. And it's like having to deal with this. This man only exists because he's a part of our collective conscious imagination. We have created this individual to be there on the podium with his mask on and talk to us about the dark winter, and they're bringing in communism, and the fact that that's still there in the human psyche, and we have not shaved this out of our psyche to where we can move into this new consciousness, blows my mind. It blows my mind how
Same
this
here,
still exists in our. And I mean this because what I'm trying to explain here is Biden, all he is a collective consciousness part of our collective consciousness imagination. Like, he only exists because we let this man exist. If enough people woke up, he would have no place or no platform. Do you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He would not even exist. He only exists because we let him as a consciousness. So the people that are embedded in fear and this pandemic, they're giving him the right to exist. Does that make sense? Am I making any sense, or am I just?
Oh, yeah, it makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Okay. So this man only exists because we let him. This ruthless radical party only exists because we let them, because people subscribe to this.
Same with,
and they let fear control them. So as long as you're letting fear control you, these individuals throughout history will continue to pop up.
mm-hmm.
They will continue to pop up. Hitler, Mao, all these people that are sick for humanity will continue to materialize in our existence because we let them through our fear. It makes sense?
Yep.
And we can't move into this new consciousness with these people that still live in this. It's fucking up my life and everybody else's life that want to move on, you
Right.
know? So that's
whole
the
COVID
hardest, the
restrictions.
frustrating thing about all this.
Yeah. The COVID restriction stuff that's shutting everybody down, businesses, it's all created
driving
by
me insane, bro.
bullshit,
That people
yeah.
are like, this week.
Mhm.
This week. This thing's 99. I've probably had COVID already 5 times. I don't even know. I've been sick here and there. I don't fucking go get checked at all. I'm like, whatever, dude. You know, I'll take some vitamin C and then I go work out and I feel good. So it's like, you know, it's just this paranoia that people live in. It's like, God, some people are just comfortable in this cesspool of negativity, and it makes me fucking sick. Sorry, dude.
No, I feel the same way, man. It's good to hear other people, and I'm sure other people listening are relating, and they feel that same frustration, because we are probably in the most frustrating time of the U.S. history, because it's just
100%. Oh, global history.
the global, yeah.
Yeah, this
It's
is
absolute
the first
bullshit that we're living in right now.
We've gone through the bubonic plague and things like that, but
that shit was real.
you know, there's been genocides,
bad cold.
killed off the Indians, the Spanish Inquisition, you know, blah blah blah. But this is on a global scale to where it's affecting all of us at once, and they're trying to do this great reset and bring in. They make it sound all pretty and perfectly packaged with a nice bow on top, social democratic socialism. That's not what they're doing. It's communism. It's straight up fucking communism, slavery, bondage. You're going to be universal income. What, you're going to make fucking $1,500 a month. Universal healthcare. They'll completely guide your health and terminate you as they see, because you're not going to have any good doctors. This is a sinister Luciferian agenda.
Absolutely.
But hey, you know, there's my little rant.
The good guys always win, though, man. We're gonna win.
Oh, we're gonna get this, no doubt, no doubt. There's too many good people. The new consciousness already exists, so the old trickery can't exist in a new consciousness. The old world cannot coexist with this new world we're going into. Now, what's gonna happen to the people? You know, when Trump wins and their delusions become a reality, and they're going to go insane, and that's going to be them falling into the old world existence. You get what I'm saying? That's when we're going to be split in two. That's when we're going to shift. We're going to shift into a new consciousness, and then there's the people with the old consciousness, the fear and negativity. They're going to stay there, and they're going to die out like the dinosaurs, okay? They're going to die out like the dinosaurs because their delusions are going to become a reality to them. And then whatever happens, because that'll be survival of the fittest. That'll be nature thinning out the herd. Okay? That's just the way it is, dude. and the new consciousness will go in its own new direction.
It's powerful, man. Damn. You think this is going to play out in our favor with the election this year?
Yes, it can't. It can't go the other way because we're in a new consciousness. It's bigger than this. It's way bigger than what you see. Humanity won't let this happen. There's too many of us that are already in this new consciousness. Let's say it didn't go to Trump. The people will still take back what is ours. However it needs to play out.
Yeah.
The new consciousness is already here. It's already here. We already see the trick. When you learn how a magic trick is done, you don't fall for it anymore. Okay? You don't fall for it anymore. You look at it and you go, that's cute. But that's where we're at now. People now see the trickery, the mainstream media that doesn't work anymore. Hello, it lost its magic. That's why the propaganda, Hollywood movies, these pedophiles, everybody, we already see it. We know what we're looking at now. There's no more deceit.
Yeah.
So
good way of putting it.
So these people that are still deceived, they're gonna die out either way, because they're still living in deception. They're gonna die out either way, and that'll be nature thinning out the herd. And this new consciousness is going that way, 1,000 miles an hour, whether you want to get on or not. Trump doesn't need to be president for this to happen. I'm telling you, dude, we are already there. Is he gonna be president? Yeah. He is. Sorry, everybody. Whoever's watching this in liberal, he's going to be, because he represents the new consciousness. But the new consciousness is going that way with him or not, because we're already there. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I like it. I never thought of it that way. That's really interesting.
Yeah, it's the new consciousness. We're already here.
Yeah.
We're already here, man.
I like the magic trick analogy because it makes perfect sense.
The old trickery does not work in a new consciousness.
Man, I don't wish any bad intentions on anybody who watches or listens that's a left leaning person. I just wish you would wake up and see the fucking big picture. This is not about left and right.
Get with the program.
This shit is big stuff, man.
Yeah, go back to bed.
Go back to sleep. Yeah.
Go back to bed. Go take a nap.
I have so many family members that I can tell fucking despise me on social media because I'm very much on the awake side, and I want to wake them up. I just wish they would wake up.
Some people aren't meant to, bro. You just got to move on.
It's sad.
Whoever gets it, the light turns on, it turns on. If it doesn't, bye.
Yep. Fortunately, that's the way we got to be, man.
Yep.
But let's end it on a more
let
positive
them go take
note.
the vaccines. Let them go live in fear. Let them go put a mask on their face and go sit in their closet, and let them live that way. They'll die that way.
Yeah, the vaccine thing, man. Fuck, how can you be so naive?
It's all part of the old consciousness.
Yeah. So what kind of shit do you do in your downtime that's not for fun? How do you keep your sanity?
I go work out, man. I try to work out as much as possible. I don't work out like I used to, but I mean, I keep consistent at it. I like to take trips. I'm like a shark. I got to keep moving. So it's like I always have to. Space sharks.
Let's make that movie, bro. Space Sharks. Yeah, right. 2021.
And I don't know, man. I read and I watch documentaries like crazy. I don't even watch anything Netflix. I just go on YouTube and I surf for anything extraterrestrial, anything Anunnaki, anything esoteric. I try to learn as much as I can, and that's about it. My life is a lot more sad. If you would ask me this last year, drinking, women, drugs, but I got to go to the party right now, by the way. So it's like, my life's changed a lot, man.
That's good though, man. Well, like we said, though, it gave you that flavor. You're way more interesting now that you've gone through and come out the other end. Speaking of drugs, have you ever messed with DMT before?
Yep, I've done that. I've smoked it, and I've drank ayahuasca 3 times. Smoked it 3 times. And amazing.
I really want to do it.
Yeah.
It's on my
amazing.
list.
You got to be around the right people, though. I have a shaman that I went to. His name's Bob up in Crestone, Colorado. And it's a different, you got to be around people you trust.
Yeah. That's what everybody's saying.
But it's definitely, some people don't get an experience from it. I feel bad for those people, but I definitely did. And I saw things that was not in my imagination. It was from my third eye. It was amazing. It was an amazing trip, man.
Yeah, that's why I'm craving to do it so much, man. When I hear
You
people
see
talk
sacred
about
geometry. You see sacred geometry. You see the world open up to you with this kaleidoscope of tunnels and wormholes and just geometrical patterns, and it's just so wild, man.
yeah, it's game changing.
Wild. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It's almost like you'd like taking apart a
2021
watch.
goals.
It's like, do it. So it's like taking apart a watch and seeing the inner workings of a watch. It feels like you're tearing through your reality, this universe. You're cutting through the fabric of the universe and seeing the inner workings of it. That's how I can describe it the best.
Damn, that's so interesting. All the little gears in motion.
Yes.
Moving.
Yes.
That's good shit, man. Well, you sold me on it again. Everybody that I talk to sells me on it. Sorry,
Yeah.
Mom, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, do it for yourself.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on. I normally do 3 different game things with my guests, but this was a last minute booking. We'll do it with you next time. Get
Absolutely.
you on. I appreciate you coming on so much, man. It was kind of a last minute thing, and you're a very powerful guest to start 2021 with. So,
Hell yes, dude. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So hit me up whenever you want to do another segment, man. I'm open.
all right, I appreciate it. You want to plug anything?
You can follow me on Instagram, David Nino Rodriguez official, and then my Twitter is Nino Boxer.
Yeah,
And
you
Parler,
make me want to start Twitter. I want to get on there.
Dude, get on it. And then Parler is also Nino Boxer.
Oh, yeah,
And
Parler.
YouTube is David Nino Rodriguez.
Nice. Yeah, everybody who is not familiar with David, man, go follow his social media. This guy's very powerful. He has a lot of interesting conversations with other interesting people, and you're very inspiring, man. I really appreciate you, and good luck in your ongoing battle with life, because it's only going to keep going, and I'm proud of you for getting out of it, and I have a lot of confidence in you.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man.
Take
God
care, brother.
bless.